Good morning, and thank you for joining us for the 14th Annual City of Santa Clarita Veterans Day ceremony. It's my pleasure to virtually welcome you today as our nation pays tribute to its veterans who served honorably in the military in both wartime and in peace. Veterans Day is one of the most sacred holidays we celebrate, and it's especially meaningful to me and my family. My father served in the Korean War, and my brother is currently active duty Air Force. Our veterans are the backbone of this country, and without them there would be no United States and none of the freedoms we currently enjoy. No life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Veterans Day was established to commemorate the end of World War I and honor those who have served our country. World War I formally ended in the 11th hour, the 11th day, the 11th month, in 1918. Each year we celebrate the end of that war and pay tribute to all those who continue to defend our freedoms every single day. Today we take time to honor those Santa Clarita Valley residents, both known and unknown, who have served our country. Santa Clarita is a patriotic community through and through, and we support our veterans with great reverence. We also thank our current service personnel and most importantly, their families for their sacrifice and courage. On this Veterans Day, I want to share the words of President John F. Kennedy. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. So please join me as we pause for a moment of silence for the brave men and women who have served and are currently serving our nation with great honor.
We live in a time full of division, anger, and outrage. There are a lot of questions looming as we look out into the future of our country on how will we face all of these crises that are currently at hand. Perhaps the answer to those questions looks not in just looking out to the future, but in taking time to first look back into the past, to thank and celebrate those brave men and women on whose foundation we stand today. To take time to look alongside to those men and women who are serving right now, granting us of the freedoms that we celebrate. And to look up above to our Father in heaven, through whose Son, Jesus Christ, we are free from sin and death and granted new life. We make our beginning in the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the
Serving my country to me means taking part in something bigger than myself, caring about something that's more than just who I am and seeing what the country needs on the whole.
Serving my country means to me, first and foremost, defending all the citizens of this country. It's a team effort between every job in the military, between every branch in the military.
Serving my country means to me a sense of honor and pride. I feel like it's everyone's duty to serve here and have that respect for their country and know why we're serving, to protect us, the Constitution, and who we are as a nation.
Well, I've been kind of bathed in tradition to honor the flag and be patriotic, and my whole family is that way.
To me, it's just an honor doing a part and being that tiny part of this great big military machine.
It's really not thinking about yourself as an individual, but thinking about how your actions are going to affect everyone else that's in the nation, essentially, by choosing to volunteer for military service.
What does serving my country mean to me? I think serving my country is special. Some people believe it is a duty. Some people believe it's a responsibility. I believe it's an honor to serve this great country. We live in the greatest country known to man. We have freedoms few people have known. So being able to return the blessing, to be a veteran and to serve this country is a gift.
Serving this country was the best thing that I ever did, and there aren't a lot of places in the world that have the opportunities to allow for upward mobility, so the fact that I got to wear the uniform of this nation and serve this nation and also help myself be the best version of myself that I could be, it really means a lot.
Greetings, I'm Dr. Vito Ambassiani, Secretary of the California Department of Veterans Affairs, and I am an Army veteran. I'd like to thank all of you for allowing me to be part of today's Veterans Day service. Why? Because events such as this one create opportunities for all the communities to come together to honor all those who wear or have worn the military uniforms of our great nation. Obviously, we would all prefer to enjoy Veterans Day in person, but unfortunately this year, the COVID-19 pandemic renders that impractical and unsafe. However, now more than ever, it's vital that we continue to uphold our traditions and our ceremonies, even in this virtual space. Every year, we formally honor our veterans who have served in armed conflicts around the world. We have served on bases and outposts that protect our allies overseas. We've served stateside, protecting our nation at the home front. Every soldier, sailor, Marine, and Air Force member has performed a duty that is vital to America, and for that, we are eternally grateful. Therefore, it is my honor and privilege to read to you this Veterans Day proclamation from Governor Gavin Newsom. On November 11 each year, we pay tribute to those who serve this nation as members of our armed forces. This holiday initially commemorated the end of World War I, which came at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918. 1 year later, Americans celebrated the first Armistice Day, and it became a national holiday in 1938. In 1954, following World War II and the Korean War, President Eisenhower renamed it Veterans Day to honor and commemorate veterans of all wars. Today, nearly 1.6 million veterans live and work in our state, and many more Californians have close family members who are veterans. These individuals continue to serve their communities as small business owners, civic leaders, first responders, volunteers, mentors, and in countless other roles and professions. We set aside this day to recognize the personal sacrifices American heroes have made to defend our Constitution and the freedoms it guarantees, but also to recognize the enduring respect they deserve every day. Some members of our veteran population experience homelessness or mental health disorders or other challenges after military service. In our boundless gratitude for their service, we must continue our efforts to support veterans and address these important issues. In the words of President Truman, our debt to the heroic men and valiant women in the service of our country can never be repaid. They have earned our undying gratitude, and America will never forget their sacrifices. The ongoing pandemic will alter the way we recognize Veterans Day this year in many parts of the state. Though it restricts or prevents the parades, the picnics, and other gatherings that have become tradition over the decades, it cannot and will not diminish our love, respect, and continued support for veterans. Now, therefore, I, Gavin Newsom, Governor of the State of California, do hereby proclaim November 11, 2020 as Veterans Day. Thank you.
Man stands on a mountain high, holds a flag up in the sky. Can you see his tired eyes? He's off to another fight. The gunshots ring in his ears. Back home, his wife's in tears, singing, please come home. How could I know the pain she feels? She prays every night, asking, who will stop this fight? Who will stop this fight? I'm singing for the unsung hero. I'm singing for the unsung hero. And time he fades, but his promise still it remains. Remains. He fights for what he knows is right, a beacon shining in the night. Hope and truth flow through his veins, lighting his eternal flame. He doesn't know if he will win, but he will never give in. He stands for the greater good. He fights so we can be free. Hey, we're singing for the unsung hero. Singing for the unsung hero. Time he fades, but his promise still, yeah, remains. For freedom, yeah, when will we hear the cry to stand beside them? I'm singing for the unsung hero, singing for the unsung hero, singing for the unsung hero. For the unsung hero, we're singing.
Color Corps. Forward, march. Color, Corps, halt. Vietnam veterans, place your standards. Flag detail, 10, hut. Flag detail, lower standards. Flag detail, lower colors. Color Corps, present, sword. Color Corps, carry, sword. color core, present, sword. Flag detail, retire, colors. Color core, carry, sword. Flag detail, raise, colors. Color core, present, sword. Color core, carry, sword. Flag detail, raise, standards. Flag detail, dismissed. Color core, left, right, face. Color, core, halt, return, sword. Color core, dismissed.
It is a privilege and honor to conduct the POW-MIA ceremony this morning. This small table here in a place of honor is our way of symbolizing that there are comrades in arms missing from our celebration on this Veterans Day. Those who have served and those currently serving in the uniformed services of the United States are ever mindful that the sweetness of enduring peace has always been tainted by the bitterness of personal sacrifice. We are compelled never to forget that while we enjoy our daily pleasures, there are others who have endured and may still be enduring the agonies of pain, deprivation, and imprisonment. They are commonly called POW-MIAs. We call them brothers and sisters, comrades in arms. They are unable to be with us this morning, so we remember them because of their current situation. This table set for one is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his or her oppressors. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. Remember. The single rose displayed in the vase reminds us of the families and loved ones of our comrades in arms who keep the faith, waiting for their return. Remember. The red ribbon tied so prominently on the vase represents an unyielding determination for a proper accounting of our missing. Remember. A slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter fate. Remember. There is salt upon the bread plate, symbolic of the family's tears as they wait. Remember. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us today. Remember. The chair is empty. They are not here. Remember. The candle is reminiscent of the light of hope, showing the way back home from the darkness of their circumstance. Remember. The American flag reminds us that many of them may never return, having paid the supreme sacrifice to ensure our freedom. Remember. Remember all of you who served with them and called them brothers and sisters, who depended upon their might and aid, relied upon them, for surely they have not forsaken you. Always remember. Remember. Until the day they come home, remember. You will not be left behind is a promise made to every American sent into combat. We are the only country that makes this promise, and we never stop looking for our missing military personnel. The number of Americans who remain missing from conflicts after World War I include World War II, 72,446. The Korean War, 7,576. Vietnam, 1,585. Cold War, 126. Iraq, Afghanistan, and other conflicts, 5. Over 600 Defense Department men and women, both military and civilians, work in the Defense Department's POW MIA accounting agency. They are all dedicated to the single mission of finding and bringing home our missing personnel. They have identified every POW MIA, including American civilians working with the armed services, journalists, specialists, tourists, Air America, and so forth. These civilians have been included in the World War II and Vietnam War totals. Of the 72,446 World War II missing, 41,000 are presumed to be lost at sea. The number also includes 874 civilians. The 1,585 Vietnam War missing are broken down into country of loss. North Vietnam, 443. South Vietnam, 802. Laos, 285. Cambodia, 48. People's Republic of China, in the territorial waters, 7. The 126 Cold War missing include an additional 25 missing from an earlier action recognized by the DoD. The number of our missing is relentlessly decreasing every week. Always remember our POW MIAs. Pray that they will be home to help us celebrate on our next Veterans Day. Thank you.
Veterans Day means to me, and never in my life had I really given this thought until about 4 years ago, shortly after I retired from the Marines. One of our 4 kids, 3 boys, one of the boys asked me, would you be disappointed if I didn't join the Marines? And it dawned on me that even though I never necessarily encouraged them to join the military, I think just through my actions, you know, they've been there when I've gone overseas, been there when I got back. And I told them, I go, I wouldn't be disappointed. In fact, I don't expect you to go. And it dawned on me, it's just in our DNA, it seems. And that same boy who asked me that question is currently in Marine Corps boot camp right now.
Veterans Day means to me a day of celebrating service. It means that regardless of what branch of service you served in, what era, veterans can all come together and also share cultural aspects of service with those who might not have served. So really bridging gaps, creating relationships, taking part in proud legacies of service like parades and celebrations, and oftentimes just spending time with your loved ones and your friends.
To me, this day is the opportunity to remember places like Bella Woods, Omaha Beach, Iwo Jima, the Chosin Reservoir, the Ai Trong Valley, Khe Sanh, Hue, Fallujah, and Kamdesh. More importantly, to remember the brave military personnel who fought these battles. But mostly it's a time to reflect and to remember my dad's parachute jump behind the lines on D-Day. For his heroism, he was the recipient of the Bronze Star and Purple Heart. The many friends I had in Vietnam, many who died for America. Yes, Veterans Day is truly special to me, and I remember our heroes.
I come from a military family. I have my grandpa and dad are Air Force vets. My husband, son, and father-in-law are Marine Corps vets. To me, it's just honoring them. They're the true heroes. They're the ones who put their life on the line. And, you know, my son and my father-in-law are both combat veterans along with my grandpa. And so for me, I don't take it lightly because so many people around me, friends and family, are veterans. And it's definitely a proud holiday for me.
Going back to when it was called Armistice Day, when it wasn't called Veterans Day, we as Sons of the American Legion, we'd go to the cemeteries and put flags on all the graves. They had big parades in Brooklyn, where I come from, with a band, and the parade used to be from curb to curb. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of people. It was a marvelous time of our life. My father and my uncle were in World War I. I was in World War II. My older brother was in World War II. And my nephew and grandsons were in during the Vietnam War. And it's kind of a tradition that we carry on.
Veterans Day is a really wonderful opportunity to check in with the veteran in your life, family or friend, and let them know that you appreciate their service and their sacrifice to this country.
It is a day to remember that without courage of our best and brightest, we may not be living free today.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I thank my God above that I'm living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died and gave that right to me. I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, or New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart. So it's time we stand and say, that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died and gave that right to me. I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt
One thing our city is widely known for is its patriotism. And Santa Clarita is dedicated to ensuring our heroes are recognized and remembered. On Veterans Day, we honor those who have fought for the United States of America and all of us and defended its citizens, and we are proud to know them as our sons, our daughters, our loved ones, and neighbors and family members. When our children and family members go off to fight for our country and for our freedom, we worry about them every single minute until they come home. When they do, we meet them with happiness and with hugs. Gold Star parents and family members don't get to do that. We mourn with you, but can only imagine your pain. But we also give our unending gratitude and respect to those who gave their lives to keep America and to keep all of us safe and free. These men and women will never be forgotten. As we remember these brave lives lost, we acknowledge members of Gold Star families here today and forever.
Rudy A. Acosta, Stephen E. Colley, Alan E. Colley, John M. Conant, Stephen Cajun Del Baño, Jose R. Flores Mejia, Ian T. D. Gellig, Cole W. Larson,
Richard Nordland,
Dennis L. Sellen, Jr., Richard P. Slocum, Jake E. Sully, Jake W. Suter, Dean G. Todd, Jr., Robert M. Wilson,
It is a true pleasure to participate in this ceremony, which pays tribute to all those who have risked their lives to defend our liberty. The men and women of the armed forces endured unimaginable conditions so all Americans can live free. 2020 marks the 75th commemoration of the end of World War II, when Allied powers secured victory in protecting freedom and democracy. As we continue our Veterans Day program, we remember and honor the lives of the more than 400,000 Americans who fought and gave their lives in World War II so that their fellow citizens would be free. As the song of each branch of service plays, please enjoy and recognize the photos of Santa Clarita veterans and currently serving military personnel. Please enjoy the Army. Please enjoy the Marines. Please enjoy the Navy. And please enjoy the Coast Guard. And, of course, enjoy the Air Force. This year, we would also like to recognize those who served during World War II. Thank you for all your service to our country, and we are forever grateful.
As we honor our servicemen and women and show our limitless gratitude, there is another group of people who deserve our appreciation for their sacrifice. They're the wives, husbands, and children who spend holidays without their loved ones. They are all the family members who celebrate birthdays, weddings, holidays, and other special occasions while missing someone very important to them. These military families are the cornerstone of our community and the strength upon which Santa Clarita is built. Families of our military men and women are filled with pride for their loved ones' courageous service, and they are both strong and resolved. In Santa Clarita, they've also developed an extraordinary network of support for themselves and other military families. We recognize you, the family members of veterans and currently serving military personnel, and thank you for your sacrifices and service to your country through your dedication to your loved ones.
The best way to honor veterans for their service is to say thank you. When you see someone walking through an airport I'll in uniform, I always thank them for their service. My husband and I have bought meals for veterans that are out to eat when they're wearing their hats, and I participate with my father-in-law. He has a reunion every 2 years with his buddies from Vietnam. And for me, really honoring them is just listening to their stories and hearing what they say, because that's our history as a nation. And one day these guys aren't going to be around to tell those stories. I also donate to the Vietnam Veterans Organization. So anytime I'm cleaning out the house, getting rid of clothes, things like that, I donate to them. I think volunteering time at hospitals, VA hospitals, things like that is very important as well.
The best way to honor veterans for their service, in my own humble opinion, is to thank their families. I can remember coming back from one of my deployments in the Middle East. We walked off the plane, and there was a large group, by and large, other veterans, several generations ahead of us. And they were shaking our hand, and I felt a little embarrassed. I remember looking down at this guy's jacket, and it said Korean War veteran, and he was thanking me. And I told him, no, thank you for setting the bar so high. And I also learned something from a Vietnam veteran not too long ago. He said, don't say thank you for your service, say welcome home. And I think it dawned on me that those guys didn't get the welcome home that a lot of us have gotten. I know for me, I did it. I loved doing it. I would do it again if I was still in shape to do it, and they would take me. But I think the big things goes to the family members. My wife, she stayed home. She was still working on her master's degree while still, at the time, taking 3 kids to school, doing studies with them, getting them to bed, and then doing her own studies, and then doing it all the next morning. That's without me there. I couldn't have done that. So I think the thank you goes definitely to the families.
Being a World War II veteran, we got plenty of accolades and what have you. But the people that came after, the Korean and Vietnam veterans, these men got no respect. And every time I see one, I tell them welcome home. And thanks for your service, which everybody should do.
I know that many veterans don't ask for special recognition. Many keep their battles in their minds and locked away. They don't want to relive them. Others speak proudly of their experience and truly deserve the respect they get. I believe that the best way to honor their lives and their deaths is to speak with respect about them. To live our lives understanding that we walk under the umbrella of freedom that was provided by these great warriors. Thank the veteran. Thank those currently serving. Lay a rose on the graves of those who have perished. And at night, when you pray, ask God to honor these great people in heaven.
I think that the best way to honor veterans for their service is to provide opportunities. I think that giving veterans opportunities, like the nation has done with the GI Bill and other programs, has been tremendously important, because it's allowed those who have served the nation to come back and to have opportunities to grow and to serve in different ways. I don't believe that service ends when you take the uniform off. And I think that the opportunities that are provided for veterans, and not just veterans, but their family members, really help to propel them, but also make our country stronger.
There is a common saying, thank you for your service, that civilians say, and I understand the sentiment behind it. It's very well-meaning. What I would say is, I challenge you to go beyond that. So reach out to a veteran who's coming into your industry and offer to mentor them. There's a lot of problems that veterans face with transition. It's often the hardest thing that we go through when we leave the service trying to become a civilian. So for 2 to 3 months, you become a soldier, sailor, Marine, or airman, and then you have 5 days to get out and try to be a civilian, and that's difficult. If we can be proactive and we can look at transition programs and say, how can we help this veteran in our life? If you work in the hotel industry, reach out to somebody or put on your LinkedIn that you're willing to mentor somebody, because you can cut years off of their learning curve, and that is a tangible way to say thank you for your service by helping them to have a successful transition.
I pray this time today filled you with hope and encouragement. I pray that this gave us an opportunity to move forward united by the freedoms that we have in a time of deep division. I pray that God, our Father, bless and keep you, that Jesus, his Son, our Redeemer, would hold you in the palm of his hand, and that the Spirit, the Comforter, would give you his peace. Amen.
Thank you for joining us for today's Veterans Day ceremony, and thank you, committee, speakers, and performers who made today's virtual event possible. If you would like more information on local veterans organizations, please visit www.santa-clarita.com/veterans. Again, thank you for joining us for this year's Veterans Day event.